Says, isn't it time they stopped opening these Pandora's boxes? Maybe some thought about the consequences of these apps and this tech is required before it's released onto the general population. Coming up, can you cut the cost of Christmas for your family without it being any less special? And also, we reflect on the fact that Wales have had a big setback in the World Cup. Are you in a house where it's Wales versus England? Because we got that match to come as well. News coming, BBC Radio 2 smart speaker, Sounds app and 88 to 91 FM.
BBC News at 1 o'clock. This is Justine Green. Wales suffer a crushing defeat against Iran in the World Cup. A woman with Down syndrome has lost her appeal to change abortion laws. And British people are hitting the shops this Black Friday despite the higher cost of living. Wales's hopes of making it to the knockout stages of the Football World Cup in Qatar are hanging by a thread after they lost 2-0 to Iran. The Welsh goalkeeper Wayne Hennessy was given the first red card of the tournament in a game that was goalless up until injury time when Iran scored.
Out to Ansari Fan, who attacks left-hand side, does a little step over, and the cutback swept away from Joe Allen. Comes out towards Karimi! Karimi with a low right-footed shot! Finds the bottom right-hand corner.
Then, just a minute before the final whistle, there was a second goal for Iran.
Wales, frankly, haven't done enough. And now it's with Taremi, who'll bring the ball away. Jahanbash is going through the middle. Taremi plays it now to Rezaïn. Rezaïn chips it forward. That's the second goal.
Wales will now have to beat England in their final group game on Tuesday to make it to the last 16. England will take on the USA tonight. A woman with Down syndrome has lost her challenge to a law which allows abortion up until birth for babies with her condition. Judges at the Court of Appeal dismissed Heidi Krauter's case, deciding that the Abortion Act did not interfere with the rights of the living disabled. Ms Krauter said she and her team plan to keep fighting and take the case to the Supreme Court. Robin Brandt was outside the court in London.
Well, this is a legal challenge that began back in 2019, and at the heart of it is Heidi Krauter. She's 27, she's married, she has Down syndrome, and so does her husband. And she challenged the government on the basis that the 1967 abortion law, she says it is discriminatory. She says it stigmatises people like her and their place in society.
A former soldier has been convicted of unlawfully killing a 23-year-old in Northern Ireland in 1988. A judge in Belfast ruled that David Holden, who's now 53, was guilty of manslaughter by gross negligence for his role in the shooting of Aidan McAnespie at a border crossing in County Tyrone. The Grenadier Guards veteran from England said he had fired the weapon by accident because his hands were wet. He'll be sentenced early next year. A man's appeared in court in Nottingham, charged with murdering a woman and her 2 young daughters who died in a fire at their home. Jamie Barrow, who's 31 and from the Clifton area of the city, was remanded in custody. Naima and Fatima Drama died on Sunday from smoke inhalation. Their mother, Fatoumata Haidara, died on Tuesday. NHS leaders say they'll do everything in their power to minimise the disruption for patients when nurses strike next month. The Royal College of Nursing has announced that staff across England, Wales and Northern Ireland will stage their biggest walkout in NHS history on the 15th and 20th of December. Our health correspondent Jim Reid says it all comes down to pay.
Or the pay that nurses receive has not kept up with inflation since 2010. They use a figure of 20% below inflation. Some independent analysts put it more at 5 to 10%, but nevertheless, look, nurses' pay, it's accepted as not kept up with inflation. And they say, look, that's had a knock-on effect on things like patient safety, on staffing numbers. The number of nurses leaving the profession has been falling. The number of nurses coming in, it's been harder to attract new nurses into the profession. So they say all this is kind of wrapped up in pay, but it is broader than that.
The latest data suggests Black Friday sales are off to a steady start. Barclaycard Payments says card spending is similar to last year. Experts had predicted overall sales and profits would be lower than last year because of the rising cost of living. The electronics retailer Currys said customers buying energy-efficient products were leading its sales. Paula Nichols from Argos says she's confident they will shift enough stock.
Black Friday is always the biggest day of the year. It's about twice the size of a normal Friday. So, it's quite a different year from last year when we were struggling to get hold of stock and the availability, supply chain issues were widely known. But no, this year we're feeling very confident and we're expecting a strong day.
The American rapper Kanye West, who's now known as Ye, has said he intends to run for president in 2024. He's recently faced a backlash over anti-Semitic remarks he made on social media. In a new video post, he also claimed to have asked Donald Trump to be his running mate. And the weather, it will be bright and breezy for most this afternoon, but with heavy showers in Scotland. Temperatures should reach highs of 10 Celsius in Edinburgh and Belfast, 12 in London and 13 in Cardiff. BBC News, it's 1:05.
I do worry for Kanye a little.
Listen live on the BBC Sounds app.